Hi, everyone. Thank you, Kevin, for the introduction. Good morning to you all. Good afternoon, good noon. It is my pleasure to be here with you all, the people in the audience, and to share this space with the panelists that are amazing people. They're going to share with us and enrich this experience with their knowledge and experience about the green economy. I want to introduce you to Marwan Benali, who is going to be in the panel. He is a green job specialist with the Decent Rural Employment Team um, in Inclusive Rural Transformation and Gender Equity Division of the Food and Agriculture Organization, the FAO, from UN. He previously worked as a postdoctoral scientist at the World Vegetable Center's regional office in Benin and as a postdoctoral researcher within the Department of Agricultural Economics and Rural Development of the University of Göttingen in Germany. Before that, he worked as a consultant in the Trade and Markets Division of the FAO. Marwan holds a PhD in agricultural economics from the University of Göttingen in Germany. Thank you, Marwan, for being here. Such a pleasure. I also want to introduce you to Regula Schicke. Regula is Circular Capital's managing director. She leads the investment strategy, manages the investment team, and oversees Circulate Capital Ocean Fund's investment portfolio in South and Southeast Asia. Together with her team, Regula manages asset allocation as well as due diligence portfolio management on fund investments. She also provides strategic advisory to the portfolio companies, focusing on strategy, business development, fundraising, key hiring decision, financial management, and governance. Regula is an experienced global professional with over 20 years of leadership, business development, project management, finance, and social enterprise startup experience. Regula, thank you very much for being here. It's so nice to have you here. And finally, I want to introduce you to Howard Lee Chang. Howard is a program director of Chai Hoon YMCA of Taiwan. He's one of the grantees from the Youth-led Solutions of Climate Action Summit from October 2020. And he will be sharing his vision as a local leader developing a green solution in his community. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here. Again, it is my pleasure to have you all here. And as Kevin said, the objective of this panel is to share with the audience what is a green economy. Maybe some people didn't know that there are colors in the economy. So let's bring them an open view of what is the green economy, the main aspects of the green economy, and why does the green economy matters and matters mostly right now in this context of the pandemic. So let's engage them in this. Marwan, how if you start?
Okay. Thank you very much, Excel, for the invitation. Really happy to be here with you. So just to respond to your first question on what is the green economy, I'll refer to the most authoritative definition, that is the one given by the United Nations Environment Program. And basically they define the green economy as an economy that results in improved human well-being and social equality, while at the same time significantly reducing environmental risks and ecological scarcities. So in other words, within a green economy, there are a lot of efforts and investment that are made to support growth in income and employment, and they aim to reduce pollution, carbon emissions, enhance resource efficiency, but also create green jobs, and while preventing the loss of biodiversity and ecosystem services. So why does it matter? I mean, it was mentioned in the introduction of this panel that the greening economy matters for employment generation. I mean, there's this estimate that was given of the creation globally by 2030 of 24 million new jobs. Those are ILO estimates. And from an FAO perspective, this is also particularly important in rural areas So in rural areas, there are about over three quarters of the world's poor who live and work, but often in precarious conditions. So building and strengthening the green economies can help improving the conditions of rural households through the generation of new and better economic opportunities. So this can be through the diversification of an agriculture sector and creating new niches, such as the new organic crop production, but also on the broader rural economy with the creation of new types of green activities and jobs downstreams and upstreams of what we call the agri-food systems. Another interesting aspect is that many of these activities are low cost and low input opportunities, so they can be well suited for to benefit the most vulnerable groups and population in rural areas. And it was also mentioned very quickly in the introduction the role of the context of the COVID-19 pandemic, and that's particularly important to consider the green economy in that context. I mean, the crisis has translated into both an economic and environmental crisis. So that stresses the need for green recovery and green jobs that would actually address simultaneously both economic and environmental perspective. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is a very, very great perspective from the UN. And yes, the economy should be, and the recovery should be green. So this is about green economy. Rula, how could you, what could you tell us about, for example, circular economy related and how it links with the green economy?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. It's a real pleasure to contribute to this big event. Yes, let me look a bit further within the green economy. Obviously, we have the circular economy, right? And the circular economy in the context of where I work is finding solutions to bring we consume a PET bottle we drink water out of, or all the packaging we consume day in day out. How do we not linearly throw them away and out of our sight, out of our mind, and it leaks into the ocean, but rather find ways, together with corporations, with governments, and all the stakeholders, to create solutions which really bring the material back into the circular economy and make, in simple terms, take a PET bottle we drink water out of and make another PET bottle out of it. And within that circular economy of alone, plastics and plastics recovery to prevent that plastic going into the ocean, there are tremendous job opportunities for young people. There is opportunities in redesigning the packaging we're using day in, day out. There are opportunities in how we recycle the material going forward, right? Upcycling it. There are just tremendous opportunities, and it really goes back to seeing the value in what we have as resources, and also going back to the green economy in how do we more ecologically, environmentally friendly, more consciously use manufacturing to really produce the product. So within plastics, there is tremendous opportunity, but also in fashion, right? Green economy and circular economy, how we implement that in the context of fashion, fast fashion, which is a big issue as well. So I think it's about how we build back better and how we change our mindset to put value to the raw material and not just throw it away.
Thank you very much, Regula. That is really interesting on how to find value again in materials and stop exploiting our natural resources. About this, I want to ask Howard. How do you explain? How do you say the green economy is and could be taking into account in local enterprises
or local community?
or
Can
local
everybody hear me?
communities? Yes,
Yes.
we can hear you.
Okay. First of all, hi everyone. I'm Howard from Taiwan, and it's a great pleasure to having me here. And for me, green economy is instead of involving ourselves into like green job or green industry, our YMCA are more focusing on like education or like youth program, teaching them about how a green green like a mindset should be. Like we are now one of our programs is called the Volunteerism, that we took Taiwanese young people to go abroad, to go over the world to doing international volunteer, and we will design these program into an environmental, culturally friendly program for these young people. So for these young people, they're not just doing like a volunteer, they're just not like a giver. They're more like a receiver because they are receiving culture value and like understanding of this world, and they're more like education. So I think this education is very valuable for these young people because before they are involving into the green economy, they should know why green economy is so important in their future life and what part they can take in their future. So we have to intrigue their interest first before we can talk about green economy, because we will need more young people to involved in this green economy. So we will make it stronger and have a better future. So I think besides talking about green jobs, and maybe we can focusing more about like a green education for these young people, teaching them about like a green lifestyle, or like how should we do for to make our job or our industry much greener and much more environmental or culture friendly. I think by doing this, and we should maybe we can talk about this in the breakout room section. We can talk about how we transfer this program into the local level, into the community level, into individual level. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Howard. And it totally makes sense. It's about green economy, but it's not an isolated issue. It's part of our lives. It has to be part of our lives. So the next question could be, if we are convinced that we need a green recovery from the pandemics, and we want to explore and develop green economy, so maybe young people want to find a green job. What is it? What is a green job, and what skills do they need to develop or to enhance to start their journey into the green jobs world? What do you have to say? Do you want to go again first, Marwan?
Sure, thank you very much. So, referring to the definition given by the ILO, I mean, green jobs are decent jobs that contribute to preserve or restore the environment. So, I mean, in other words, they can also, and that's a bit in line with what was mentioned by Regula, they can include, green jobs include employment in the production of green products or services, but also in environmental friendly processes as well. And they should be decent and provide a living income in reasonable working conditions. They're also, I mean, while this one concept, they're also very, very diverse, and that's also the case in the context of rural areas and agriculture sector. So they can consist in greening a product that already exists or a service, or greening a process and marketing system as well. They can also take the form of wage employment, so that it's someone who works as an employee for regular income and wage, or working in self-employment either through an own or household enterprise. So just to give a few examples, they could be, in the example of agriculture, there could be agroecological practices, organic farming, no-till farming, also other sectors like biopesticide production for pest control, green energy and biofuel production, ecotourism. So there are many, many, many examples. So those actually, green jobs can provide an attractive living and working environment, including for rural youth. And from those examples above, I just want to stress that they're quite important from an environmental sustainability perspective, because they can help addressing environmental degradation or contribute to climate action or the management of natural resources. But beyond the environmental sustainability perspective, they also help addressing the social and economic perspective with the provision addressing decent work deficit in rural areas. So they do have the potential to address many of the global issues that we face in rural and green economy today. So youth under or unemployment or rural poverty. And they can actually help contribute to the Sustainable Development Goal 8, decent work and economic growth, but also other sustainable development goals. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And yes, definitely, it's not just about the economy, the green economy, but the environment, the social justice. So thanks for the examples. And I want to ask Regular, you told us before that circular economy is creating and has the opportunity to create new types of jobs. So, what types of jobs do you think people can find within the circular economy?
So I just heard that in the initial plenary session yesterday, it was said by a gentleman, Christian Scharf of PwC, that in the recycling industry, there's a lot of future growth, particularly in the circular economy and the recycling industry. So I think that's a good example, right? In the past, we've seen waste as waste, and now we see waste as value. Because plastic in itself, for example, or paper or anything we threw away has a value. And so by bringing that back into reusing it and reusing and repurposing it, there is new jobs to come. And particularly also in the recycling industry, very simple. I mean, like, as I mentioned, we need to start thinking about the design of our products going forward, that they're most efficient and effective with the resources we use. And there in innovation and design are new jobs. There are a lot of entrepreneurial jobs out there in thinking about the material and how you can recycle and reuse it, right? So as an entrepreneur, as I mentioned, in the fashion industry, how we use the material, the cotton, and recycle and reuse it. So there is a lot of research and development to be done as well. But ultimately, there's just new ways of how we go about business and how we do business. But I think even within, for example, the financial industry I'm in, we're investing socially conscious and environmentally conscious. So we not just look at the return, but what we do is it has to be inclusive. It has to be a significant environmental impact. And I consider the financial industry who focuses really on funding these kind of industries and businesses as part of the green economy as well. So what I want to say is, look, whatever you're passionate about, whether it's finance or it's marketing or it's sales or it's product development, find companies or industries where you feel like they're really serious about the environmental aspects of your business, low carbon resource efficiency, and then within that, carve out the businesses you want to work with, which are aligned with your values. In every business and industry, there are good ones and there are not so good ones. Pick the ones who are really serious about sustainability and creating a good future for all of us.
Thank you. That's right. It's maybe that it's not only about a job in agriculture or in an organization of conservation, but any industry with responsibility, with a focus on sustainable development. Thank you, the three of you. Thank you very much for these amazing questions and debate. I'm sure we can go forward with it in the breakout session. For now, it's time to say goodbye, to wrap up. Thank you again, and see you in the breakout session. Thank you, Marwan. Thank you, Regula. Thank you, Howard. Thank you, everyone.